Hello, and you're welcome to the Citi Newsroom, coming to you live from number 5 over the Hanson Lane at Tessano here in Accra. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Coming up. Ghana Education Services fact-finding mission arrives in Ghana Senior High School in Tamale to ascertain the veracity of reports that toilet cubicles have been converted into accommodation facilities for boys.
We have received a bit of reports, and therefore we decided to come from GS headquarters to find things for ourselves in a way to corroborate with whatever the report is in the media or otherwise.
Also coming up, Electricity Company of Ghana disconnects the Accra Technical University for non-payment of debt amounting to over 1 million Ghana cedis.
We are also a state agency. If we don't get our money to operate, we can also come to a close, and that may affect all other people we supply. So we can't allow that to happen because of a few customers who are not paying up their bills.
Electoral Commission sets May 23, 2023 as date for the by-election to be held for the Kumewu constituency. And later, the National Fisheries Association of Ghana called support of the Ghana Navy to undertake fishing activities as piracy increases.
We are getting signals that the pirates are coming back. So we hope to go back and meet with the Navy to see what it is that we could do together to carry that process forward.
And let's bring you details of our story. Start with education, because the Ghana Education Service has sent a delegation on a fact-finding mission to the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale to ascertain the veracity of reports that toilet cubicles have been converted into accommodation facility for boys. Now, this comes after the Ghana Education Service asked the headmaster as well as the senior housemaster of the school to step aside following a viral video which indicated that students were using converted toilet cubicles as a boys' dormitory. Our Northern Regional correspondent Dinah Ngwan reports.
The Ghana Education Services delegation to the school on Monday morning, which was made up of the Deputy Director General of Ghana Education Service, Stephen Kweku Owusu, the Acting Northern Regional Director of Education, and others, inspected the said Gbanzaba dormitory and the cubicles which were said to be toilet facilities that were converted into an accommodation facility. During the inspection, the team saw about 5 cubicles which were originally designed as a toilet facility being occupied with students' trunk, chop boxes, and gallons. From observation, the said cubicles have never been used as toilet facilities, but rather looked as though an uncompleted facility. The Deputy Director General in charge of Management Services of the Ghana Education Service, Stephen Kweku Owusu, speaking to the media after visiting the school, said findings of their mission will be made public after the Director General is briefed.
GS management's attention was drawn to media circulation or video circulating in the media regarding the management of this school. I'm talking about Ghana School. Putting students in the toilet or on a toilet. And we decided that the regional director should come down here to find out the truth of the report. We have received a bit of reports, therefore we decided to come from GS headquarters to find things for ourselves in a way to corroborate with whatever the report is in the media or otherwise. So that is why I'm here. I'm here detailed by the Director General of Ghana Education Service to come to the school to find out how the situation is so that management can make the final decision on this. So that is why I'm here. What I can say now is that because I was sent by Director General, it will be proper I get back to him and submit my report to him. So if it becomes very necessary for us to engage the media again, we will let you know what is happening. Actually, there is no way that we can hide whatever facts that we have from the media because it's already in the media. So we'll get back to you. And we are so much grateful for your support so far. Whatever it is, we will let you know.
The Northern Regional Minister, Shani Alasan Shaibu, also visited the school to get first-hand information.
The observations that we have made is that there are not all those points in the cubicles that were originally meant to be used as washrooms were even closed. And these things have been there, have been in that use for a very long time. So for somebody to say that students are using them as dormitories could not be true. It's unfounded because the space in between those cubicles cannot even permit a bed or a mattress to be laid, let alone to be used as a dormitory. So I do not know. But there were other positive things that the reporter could have reported on, because we have new facilities, washrooms and bath facilities that have been scattered around the I can see 2 on this side, newly built, in use. He could have reported on those things too, if he actually wanted to do a balanced reportage. But he chose to do a one-sided false statement and leave. Just, I don't know, maybe for want of his own expression, he decided to do that. And I would call it irresponsible journalism, and it should be treated as such.
Ghana Senior High School, since its establishment in 1960, has produced prominent personalities in the country. It has a current population of about 3,000. However, the said dormitory, which toilet facility is alleged to have been converted into dormitories, has a capacity of about 120, but currently houses less than the maximum number. This new 800 capacity Get Fund dormitory facility was recently commissioned to house students. Some students have also been speaking to Citi News on the situation.
Where they say was toilet wasn't actually toilet, because since we came in with years back, we've never seen it to be any. There is no material there that you will, maybe you see that it will be a feature of maybe toilet or something like that. But with the actual fact, we have extra spaces in the dormitories to be allowing other students to go there to sleep. The only thing that is there is that those people from far places, maybe from Volta region, Accra, and then all those stuff, when they are going back to their houses, they don't carry their chop boxes and their mattresses there. So they only keep their mattresses, their gallons, and everything of theirs there. So that when they come back, they also come back and pick them back into their various rooms.
But some of your colleagues said they lodged in that cubicle.
Actually, there's no one sleeping there. It's only when after prep, when someone wants to study, after prep, the classrooms are always locked. No one is allowed to study in the classroom. So after prep, when the person maybe wants to learn throughout the night, that's where they go in there and have their studies just for the night. And then maybe sometimes some people also with the midnight prayer, the Muslim prayers, some people also go there to have their midnight prayer, since the mosque sometimes is always locked. That's what they also do.
So they are very nice. But we saw mattresses in there.
Yes, that is what I said. When those who are going back to their various homes.
And some of your colleagues were in there as well.
Yes, sometimes because the chop boxes are there, they just sometimes just sit there. Some people also just sit there too.
Are you saying this because the investigation is out already?
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. There's no one sleeping there. Then there is no one. Even those that are always in campus, their chop boxes are not always there. It's only those that are always at home.
We are at home by then.
So those that are at vacation, that is the place they always keep their things. That's the only thing. And maybe sometimes those that are always inside there is maybe those that bring their jars of water. So we don't put the water inside the dormitory. That's where we also keep the water. So when they come and they put their jars of water there, that's when they get there to take their water and go and bath.
Do you personally go there to study?
I have done that sometimes before.
Meanwhile, all students of the school have expressed disappointment in the report, insisting that there are enough bed spaces for students in the school. Alhaji Baba Yakubu is the president of the All Students Association.
Apart from this building, Cabral Banzaba House, we have a building. In fact, I wouldn't call it an abundance, but we have a building, and occupied buildings that had previously been used as accommodation. But because we have more than enough to take care of the students in respect of accommodation, we have moved the students to the new building that was put out. And that building is there unoccupied. So accommodation for students isn't a problem at all, let alone to force them to sleep in the cubicles that was showcased to the whole public. What Madam says is this: the facility is there unoccupied, and most of the students are coming from very far places. As we speak, only the second-year students are here, even few. Many of them are still at home. So it will not be proper for us to expect the children to carry their chop boxes, mattresses, and everything home whenever school is not in session. So it is through resource students, and that is so because it is a facility meant for student accommodation. So they could have been there for a different thing other than what was sold out to the general public. It is very clear that, yes, the rooms were originally designed to serve for the purpose of toilet facilities. I am an old student of this very house, Banzaba House. I entered Ghana School in 1993 and left in 1995. Within the period, I found myself as a student for 3 clear years. The facility was never used as a toilet. And my inquiry has even moved back to even 70s, 80s, and 90s. The place has never been used for toilet facility, let alone for the school to think of converting it when we even have excess capacity for residential accommodation for the student.
Nonetheless, there are some newly constructed toilet facilities which are yet to be opened for use. Management insists that the place was not a toilet facility and it was never converted into a dormitory for students. According to them, there's excess accommodation to house students here. From Ghana School, I am Dinah Ungwan, reporting for Citi News.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Tamale South Constituency, Haruna Idrisu, has commended the Ghana Education Service for instituting an independent inquiry into a purported video alleging that toilet cubicles have been converted into dormitories at the Ghana Senior High School. Now, the purported video has caused outrage on social media and raised concerns about the safety and well-being of the students under the free SHS policy. However, in a statement, the Tamale South MP wants the government to take a comprehensive review of the infrastructure requirements in the school to support effective teaching and learning while he awaits the report from the investigations. Let's move away from that and go to ECG because its Revenue Mobilization Task Force from the Accra West region has disconnected the Accra Technical University for non-payment of debt amounting to 1.37 million cedis. The task force, as part of efforts to recover monies, visited 5 residential and non-residential facilities, including telecommunication company Airtel Tigo. Airtel Tigo paid 1 million Ghana cedis in debt to avoid disconnection. Citi News' Fred Duho has more.
The Accra West region of the Electricity Company of Ghana task force is on the field, and basically they've gone in to engage with managers of the Accra Digital Center, and it's been unfruitful, so they are going to proceed to take them off the national grid. We understand they owe to the tune of over 600,000 Ghana cedis, and all efforts to retrieve that amount of money has proven futile. So they are making all frantic efforts. Communication, all engagement here has broken down, and the ECG says the only alternative left for them is to proceed to take them from the grid, and that would compel them to settle their indebtedness to the company. And this is part of the national exercise to recoup some 5.7 billion Ghana cedis on their national books. But literally the exercise has been decentralized, so it's been done on regional basis. So the Accra West region, having the Accra Digital Center in its jurisdiction, is trying all efforts to take the money that they couldn't succeed, and they are proceeding now to take them off the national grid. You've gone in there to engage managers of the Accra Digital Center. What has been the engagement like?
Yeah, we made them aware that they owe and that they need to pay up, or we take the power off.
And what did they say to that?
Well, they said they were coming, so we are waiting to hear from them.
Is it the case that they don't have the money to pay? This is a state agency. When you shut them down, obviously it means that their activities here would come to a close. How do we balance the?
Well, I wouldn't know whether they are unable to pay or not, but all that we are saying is that we are collecting our debt, because we must also not lose sight of the fact that we are also a state agency. If we don't get our money to operate, we can also come to a close, and that may affect all other people we supply. So we can't allow that to happen because of a few customers who are not paying up their bills. So you either pay us up or we take you off.
We can observe that the task force is going to gain access to where the power station is and then proceed to do what they are basically here for. And there are only two things involved. You either pay or you are disconnected. And this particular place has been secured, and they are hoping to find means to gain access and then proceed to take them off the national grid. So that is the main power switch points where the Accra Digital Center is connected to. So the manager in charge of the Accra West region has turned it off, basically to cut power to the entire facility. The gentlemen in your shot, they are opening the power station to gain access to the genset or the plant in order to turn it on to begin with their operations. So there you have it. You see the smoke billowing through the skies, and that literally tells you that the genset has now been turned on as the external power source. Behind me is the task force from ECG engaging management of the Accra Brewery Limited, and basically this engagement is to commend them for their prompt payment of bills. Likewise, the Fan Milk Ghana Limited were also commended for their payment of bills. But the task force moved to Ethel Tigo, where they have been able to redeem themselves by paying 1 million Ghana cedis in order to avoid disconnection. The regional manager, Emmanuel Akini, has been speaking to the media.
Today, we visited 3 different categories of customers. We visited 2 customers, that is Farm Milk and then Accra Brewery. They are customers who pay their bills promptly, so we visited them to commend them and to encourage them to continue paying their bills. You see, once they pay their bills, it will also help us to pay our suppliers. It will also help us to improve our system. It will also help us to expand our system because demand is always growing. And we want to encourage them and let the whole world know that there are loyal customers. There are some also we've also visited and disconnected for non-payment of bills, and then these illegalities that we've just uncovered. You can see illegal connection, direct connection without meters. They've all been disconnected, and we may have to search out them and possibly prosecute them.
The ECG task force from the Accra West region has managed to visit about 5 institutions. 2 of them have been disconnected from the national grid, being the Accra Technical University and then again the Accra Digital Center. But 2 of them also were commended by the task force for their prompt payments, being the Fan Milk Company Limited and the Accra Brewery Limited. We've been to this particular estate known as the Franco Estate, located somewhere around Pokwase, and the discovery here is that a number of accommodations or apartments were connected illegally, and therefore the task force is moving in to take them from the national grid. So essentially today's exercise has generally been peaceful, and they've been able to meet their target as far as the national exercise is concerned. My name is Fred Duho, reporting for Citi News.
Let's move away from that, take you to some politics. The Electoral Commission has set May 23rd, 2023 as the date for the by-election to be held for the Kumawu constituency. The Kumawu seat became vacant following the death of the Member of Parliament for the constituency, Philip Baswa. The EC, in a statement, announced that nominations will be received at its district office in Kumawu from 2nd May 2023 to 5th May 2023. Now, 6 parliamentary aspirants for the Kumawu constituency have been cleared by the New Patriotic Party, which is hoping to retain the seat. According to the EC, the filing fee for the election is 10,000 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, George Ekufu-Dampare, has on Monday, April 17, met with the leadership of the New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress over recent happenings on the political front. The meeting, which was called at the instance of the Inspector General of Police, was necessitated by press statements issued by both parties and subsequently followed by petitions to the police service, with each party calling on the police to arrest certain individuals of the other side for alleged offences. At the meeting, both parties were briefed on some policing interventions in place. The political parties were also urged to do their politics and allow the police to do its policing. You're watching Citi Newsroom with me, Vivian Kai Loco. When we come back. Passengers sustained minor injuries after STC bus hit the back of a tipper truck at Gomwa in the central region after losing control. Stay with us. We'll be right back with that story and many others.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
This is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us. Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, Pamini, bank and I'm not Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Smiles are one of the most important things we have. Globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent with maximum cavity protection repairs tiny holes before they become cavities. Because every smile matters.
And you're welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. Now, it has emerged that Galamsey Quinping Aisha Juan returned to Ghana after her deportation in 2018 because she says she missed her husband. This was made known by prosecution witness Simon Nyahu, who is an inspector of the Ghana Police Service. Inspector Nyahu, while testifying in court on Monday, revealed that Aisha Juan, during interrogation, indicated that she returned to the country to meet her husband, Prince Amwa. We have more on this report.
Inspector Simon Nyaho, who is currently seconded to the Ministry of National Security as a detective, was part of a team of police officers who investigated Aisha Juan when the Ghana Immigration Service handed her over to the Ghana Police Service on 2nd September 2022. Inspector Nyaho noted that Aisha Juan was handed over together with items such as yellow fever vaccination card, COVID-19 vaccination card, non-citizen Ghana card application form with its payment receipt and 2 passports from the People's Republic of China. Inspector Nyaho revealed that the 2 passports had different names. According to him, one of the passports had the name N1 with the date of birth on the passport as July 7, 1986, while the second passport had the name Ruzia 1, with the date of birth being November 7, 1975. Inspector Nyaho indicated that on September 6, 2022, his team was tasked to investigate the circumstances under which the accused person re-entered the country and the activities she was engaged in since her re-entry. As part of investigations, Inspector Nyaho noted that a court order to enable a further search of the residence of the accused person was secured. During a search of the residence, Inspector Nyaho noted that 19 bottles of substances, which was later confirmed by the Ghana Standards Authority to be mercury, 200 pieces of AA cartridges, and a warehouse containing toiletries, groceries, excavator parts, and other Chinese consumables were found in the residence. Inspector Nyaho indicated that during interrogation, the accused person, Aisha Juan, revealed that she re-entered Ghana through the Aflao port. Queried on why she came into Ghana, according to Inspector Nyaho, she replied saying that she had missed her husband, whose name she gave as Prince Amwa, and that she had come to visit him. Also in court on Monday, the alleged destabilization plot case resumed following the demise of the first accused person, Dr. Makpam. The second accused person, Kafu Idonya, also known as Ezo, opened his defense in accordance with directives by the court. Ezo identified himself as a welder and a farmer. He noted that in 2011, he was nominated as the best farmer in the Hohoe municipality. He said it was in 2019 that he received a call from someone who introduced himself as a soldier and said he needed him to weld signboards in Accra for him. According to Kafu Idonya, the said person was prosecution's witness 3, who is Sule Awaf. He says it was through Sule Awaf that he met Dr. Makpam and that he was told to repair some guns for him. And Dr. Makpam also told him to cut some metal for funeral.
To some other stories, 25 passengers sustained minor injuries after an STC bus hit the back of a tipper truck at Gomwa in the central region after losing control. The injured persons, mostly students, are being treated at the Winneba Trauma and Specialist Hospital. Our correspondent Calvin Stete has more.
The accident happened at Komua-Buduata Junction on the Accra-Cape Coast Highway after the bus belonging to the State Transport Corporation lost control. The driver of the tipper truck that was involved in the accident, Kwabna Tewia, indicated that the driver of the STC bus lost control after he encountered a sharp curve at Komua-Buduata Junction while speeding. In an attempt to prevent the bus from getting involved in the accident, the driver applied the brake, forcing the bus to hit the rear of the tipper truck, resulting in both cars somersaulting. The occupants of the STC bus, who were mostly students, sustained minor injuries and were sent to the Wodiba Trauma and Specialist Hospital for treatment. Police and fire officers arrived on the scene to help rescue persons who were trapped in the STC bus. Here is the driver of the tipper truck, Kwabna Tewia, speaking to the media about the accident.
According to West, no one more contact. I say, it's nice. And it's done on the boom. I say, I can't put in a share, say, the Akenya. Then you can on the boom. Tina. And you're done at put my paper. Let's be do. Speed on all the one, not yet. Oh, you know, what's your public or honor? As I say, you know. As I say, you know. Oh, you know, let's be doing speed more. I can go with myself. It's been no different, not yet.
A female survivor of the accident, who was in the STC bus, recounts the incident and says she is happy to be alive.
On our way to Friday, so we are from STC, the name we are the majority of them were still in the STC. Most of them are hurt and they've been sent to the hospital. But then everything is okay. Nobody died. I just want to thank God. Where I was sitting, it landed on the ground. And people fell on me. But then, I don't know how I managed to escape. I was God. I just want to say it was God. And people out there, don't take your prayers for a joke. Pray. Because prayers actually help. It actually has helped me. And it has changed my life now. Jesus is real. God is real. Please pray.
Now, the National Fisheries Association of Ghana is courting the support of the Ghana Navy to undertake fishing activities. The association says the emergence of pirates who are currently operating in Ivory Coast and Congo-Brazzaville poses a threat to fishermen in Ghana. So the News' Sami Yafe has more.
At a meeting with President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House, the association says the operations of pirates on the high seas is causing fear and panic among members. The association says the assistance of the Ghana Navy will be needed to protect fishermen. Richester Ni Ama Amafio speaks for the association.
We are getting signals that the pirates are coming back. So we hope to go back and meet with the Navy to see what it is that we could do together to carry that process forward.
What is the signals that you are?
I think this week we heard that the pirates were in La Côte d'Ivoire and they tried hijacking a ship in Côte d'Ivoire and
Congo.
Yes. And once we
DRC or Brazzaville? But the waters in Brazzaville and the waters in Côte d'Ivoire. Where?
Abidjan.
Yes. Not further down.
Not further down.
Okay.
Yes. So it's giving us cause to worry. The other issue has to do with the fact that we used to fish in Benin a lot, but because of the pirates, we are unable to do so anymore. We may probably need to board Navy as we do, but because we can't go with Navy into some other jurisdiction, we will probably need some diplomatic intervention to allow us board the levee, because around this time, most of the fish will be moving towards the east. And so we take license from Benin to be able to fish around Benin waters so that we could be able to continue with our fishing. Because once the pirates are aware we have Navy on the vessels, they wouldn't come close. So we'll be grateful if it should be possible to deal with that matter to enable us continue with fishing in those waters.
President Akufo-Addo on his part says a discussion will be held with the military high command to protect fishermen and their vessels. He says government will consider all the proposals put before the table by the fishermen.
So the issues that you brought are issues that deserve the wider study. But what I would encourage, I know you think that it's a burden, but I don't think you should look at it, because that is why the ministry is there, is that as much as possible, and issues come, let that be your first port of call. Discuss with them, because she also has a way of being able to escalate the discussions when she thinks that a policy issue needs to be determined, to bring it here, or even more significantly, to bring it to cabinet, and let us and use that occasion to be able to do it. But I think that the matters that you have brought here, especially about the boatyard, GHOG, the restoration of all these facilities, are matters we will look into very closely with her, and you will get some feedback from us as to the way forward. The other issues, marine oil, fuel, and subsidies on them, these are matters where the finance minister will also have to come in for us to look to what extent the suggestions that you're making are.
Let's bring you some more news. Former President John Mahama is accusing the Nana-Addo-led administration of taking the country backwards after assuming office in January 2017. The former president, who was speaking during the final day of his tour to the Oti region, said the NDC has a better track record when it comes to delivering developmental projects and improving the lives of Ghanaians, and says the current government's policies have led to job losses, high inflation, and an increase in the cost of living.
The two-day tour of former President John Dramani Mahama ended with an engagement with party faithfuls in the Karachi Inchimuru district and in Kwanta South municipality and some 7 other districts in the Oti region. Speaking to a large crowd in Chinderi in the Karachi Inchimuru district of the Oti region, former President John Dramani Mahama criticized the current government's handling of the economy, saying that the high levels of inflation and unemployment were evidence that the country was heading in the wrong direction. He said, though the previous NDC administration did not deliver all of its promises, the current administration of the MPP has sent the country backwards with some of its policies.
2016, yena ni ekuta omaino. Na nyoma koso. Yesi school adan, nkai Chinderi school e-block mi ana mbebie. Eda mi bie na school na ye ma, enkwada na ye school na ma. If you say Kaneno, either some beko kite Karachi, and non beko Dambai, and now baby, and so dear, ya we school ha. And say Kwadanu JHS, now Omako your school. Ezo, ye Tricania, Emma, and Kurak Bibre, ye man Crofoncio, on Supa, Etiminum, ye Aquine, ye see a jar, and this annual mano. As you know, MPP, almost a name trade. Nagana for any and Sinchan, now Omon Bechem or Mino. Senia Minia Japan Kujokaino. Omodia no de and in Dada at the Dane Ghana for Adri. And to Ghana for Essa and Yensin Chankakra, no Muson Becheso. And she Sian Fanny and a Igna Yokromi. Yehu se bibia enkoye bibia sanechi ejume bia obia ye bia emfaso obia emfiso mba enso and NDC address today na ye ho toy menka sɛ na Ghana yɛ soro ahema mu nso na yɛ ho tɔn adwuma a woyɛ bia wonya kakra firim etimi de hwɛ wokunu ne wo yere ne wo ma nso ɛnɛ so deɛ ekwafoɔ ɛbrɛ ɛmbɔn free baby amma.
Mr. Mahama also accused government of making education expensive despite its flagship free SHS policy. He also noted that the Nanado-led administration has failed to admit its wrongs and blamed the current economic crisis on external factors.
You're still watching the City Newsroom with me, Vivian Kai. Local, when we come back. Statistical Service says government can rake in about $4.5 million in it if it leverages the full potential of the tourism industry. Stay with us. We'll be back with that story and many others.
Today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
You're welcome back to the City Newsroom. The District Chief Executive for the Pro East District of the Bono region, Alhaji Abdullahi Adams, has assured the residents of Miawani, an island community on the Volta Lake, who were affected by a rainstorm last week, that the Assembly will come to their aid. He gave the assurance when he visited the community in the company of officials from NADBO. City News' Michael Sapon Infum reports.
Thursday's rainstorm caused havoc at Miawani, an island community on the Volta Lake in the Pro East District of the Bono East region, destroying properties and rendering over 300 persons homeless. The District Chief Executive for Pro East District, Alhaji Abdullahi Adams, in the company of officials from NADMO, visited the island community on Monday. The District Chief Executive interacted with the affected persons to ascertain the extent of destruction. The Pro East District Director of NADMO, Frederick Indila, has been speaking to Citi News on the assessment they have made.
We had information that there was a disaster at Mieweni, a suburb of Yeji. That is it falls under Chipo Animaye electoral area, which is part of Pro East. So we couldn't visit the scene at that day because we were not having the means of traveling on the Water Lake. It is today on Monday that we had the means of coming to visit the scene, did the assessment, and we have about 50 households and about 500 people in the 50 households. That was the number of people that we have in the 50 households. The number of properties mainly are the houses, the roof houses, and others, petty things, cooking utensils, and bed, sleeping bed in most of the rooms. That is the items which got spoiled. So in total, it's about 200,000 Ghana cedis.
The District Chief Executive for Pro East District, Alhaji Abdullahi Adams, assured them that the Assembly will come to their aid.
We've come to, have a first-hand information of the situation at stake. And looking at things, the bigger issue now is the school block. And that one has gone bad beyond repairs. So that is the major thing. And then the rest of the situation is that, here is a village or small town, so that there are buildings, the muddy type of buildings. And for that matter, that those ones too are there. And then the touchable things. And then some few of them too are iron sheets. So those that are the mud ones, we can't do anything about that. So we need to now get some few things for them as they go ahead to sort of build their mud distance in the belt. But then those with the iron sheets to also organize and see if we can get some few ones to help. Some of them are already done it. Then for the school, that one we need to get some pavilion for them. Because it is now the children are at home, they can't go to school because it is beyond repairs.
Some of the affected persons of Mieweni also spoke to Citi News.
We are sorry that baby I some Nina Bubu, she say ya watch Nipa be 20-25, she say that dime back, since you munasi kura, na fide akwe be 30-35, ewa dime back. Ya sramusa bumedi amwa, you are singing a Ghana mine, Anko, Aban, Yasram, Mumbakwaya Moa.
Now, the Ghana Statistical Service says the government can rake in about $4.5 million if it leverages the full potential of the tourism industry. The service explains that the economic viability of the sector can help reduce the high incidence of unemployment among the youth. Central Regional Correspondent Calvis Teche has more.
According to the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna Enim, who was speaking at the launch of the 2023 Domestic and Outbound Survey in Winneba, this has become necessary since it will aid the country in acquiring a tourism satellite account, which in the long run has the potential of making the tourism sector the #1 foreign exchange earner, as is also being perceived by the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. It also has the potential of creating over 1.4 million direct and indirect jobs in the sector by 2027. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim explained that the survey will offer a comprehensive outlook for the tourism sector to inform policy decisions of government.
The reason why this is important is, at least from two perspectives, the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture is projecting that our tourism sector should be the #1 foreign exchange earner based on their strategic plan. So they're setting 2027 as the timeline where the tourism sector would be the #1 foreign exchange earner. The second perspective is the employment potential of the sector. And again, the ministry is projecting that by 2027, the sector should directly and indirectly create about 1.4 million jobs. This domestic and outbound tourism survey is basically responds to one question: how attractive are our tourist sites and the number of people who visit these tourist sites. We're currently in the field conducting the Ghana International Traveler Survey. Heading into 2023, that is the latter part of the year, we're going to roll out the two other surveys, which is the accommodation unit survey and the tourism establishment survey. So these surveys would help us put together a tourism satellite account and track the country's potential in gaining the 1.4 million jobs that we seek to get, and also getting in excess of 1.5 billion USD from the sector. It is going to provide us with comprehensive information on the tourism sector, and one of the critical issues will be the accommodation facilities that we have, and that is why we have a standalone study on the accommodation unit survey. Ghana has never conducted a tourism satellite account as comprehensively as we are doing now. This is the maiden exercise that we'll first do an accommodation unit survey. We are doing the Ghana International Traveler Survey. We are doing the domestic and outbound tourism survey, and also the travelers establishment survey. So this is a maiden survey, and we are hoping that going forward we would have the opportunity to update it. Think about it like the way we do our GDP. We always produce GDP figures, but we continuously collect data, rebase it, and provide regular statistics on it. So the aim of Ghana Statistical Service is to institutionalize tourism data, and will be part of our statistical product.
The Ghana Statistical Service has launched the 2023 Domestic and Outbound Tourism Survey with the aim of streamlining activities in Ghana's tourism sector. Carl Vestete, Citi News, Winneba.
Now, the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications says it will continue to engage its regulator to ensure that the deactivation of unregistered SIM cards does not negatively impact the business of network operators. This comment of the Chamber comes on the back of deactivation of unregistered SIMs from the database of network operators following a directive from the National Communications Authority. We have more in this report filed by Citi News' Daniel Sakete and read to you by Charles Owusukumi.
SIM card re-registration exercise, which began in 2021, has seen a number of deadlines extended in the hope that many Ghanaians will participate in the exercise. These deadlines have been extended on several occasions. However, the March 31 deadline seemed to have been the very last. The National Communications Authority, in a directive, asked the Chamber of Telecommunications to oversee the removal of all unregistered SIMs from the database of network operators, while all SIM cards registered after the limit of 10 per individual should also be deactivated and removed by April 17, with a report on the exercise submitted on April 18. Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Dr. Kenashiwe, says it will ensure that this does not negatively impact their business as it complies with the directive.
The point about it is that these are customers. And so I'm sure that maybe for the regulator and then the policy maker, the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization, and our members as well, it is not our intention to, deny any Ghanaian citizen or any subscriber of the service. And is the reason why we continue to engage with the regulator. If there's even one customer who is unable to access an emergency service, that definitely affects not just the telco, it affects the regulator, it affects the policy maker as well, and it's not something that is intended. So we will continue to engage with the regulator to ensure that the unintended consequences of this directive do not materialize. And in the situations where they happen, we find ways in which we are able to correct them.
Meanwhile, at the time of Citi News' visit to some registration centers, there was a crowd. However, they had come to address different issues. In an interaction with some Ghanaians, some lauded the registration exercise, saying it is checking cybercrime. Others also shared a contrary opinion.
There's nothing new because the fraudsters and everything are still working in other ways to fraud people. So I don't think registering with your ID talent with the SIM has brought any changes. The SIM card registration process, I think it makes sense because the last time
or someone make mistake and get a transfer to my number, and I was like, oh, and my information is already with MTN, so I can't do anything with requesting money. So if the person call me and say, oh, I make a wrong transfer to your number, and MTN confirm it, I say, yeah, it's true. So I send the person money back. But if to say, oh, there was no SIM registration back then, I think some people will get away with cybercrime, like take the money and then do different things and escape. But now, since your information is with MTN or Vodafone, it will be difficult for you to get away. They will track you down.
Well, that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube.